Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Dugan. I am not joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. John Henningsen, because this is simply just going to be a recap, pretty quick. Um, I did go to the LIV Tour today here in Tucson. Had a hell of a time. Um, I know, Henny and I kind of highlighted, hey, if this thing sucks, we'll let you know. If it's great, we'll let you know that as well. Day one was terrific. First class all the way. The incredible accessibility to journalists was really, really cool. Um, just being part of the podcast, I was able to, get up pretty up close and personal to some of these athletes, these golfers. Um, we are right there by the driving range, which is incredible access. I was able to see, the likes of like Bryson DeChambeau just hammer home some drives on the driving range. Was able to see Phil go out there and kill it. I had the chance to speak to Ian Poulter today, obviously off the mic, just kind of going back and forth about his colorful trousers, stuff like that. It was fun. Um, we we were able to get some access to a couple of the press conferences, which I've attached to this episode. So, stay on and listen to those. If the audio's not the greatest, I'm sorry, but the first one is going to be Phil Mickelson, who's definitely kind of the face of the live. He's going to be talking about just a few different things, how the live is constantly evolving, what his expectations are for the rest of the year, what he's seen so far in the last year. He talks a little bit about coming back to Tucson. He did get his first Pro-Am victory in Tucson at 11 years old, which was something that he spoke about. And then he also went on just about, his body transformation and some of the things that he's doing in order to maintain kind of his athletic build and keeping up with these young cats that are on the tour now as well. And then talks a little bit about the PGA, which was refreshing to hear. The second interview that you're going to hear is going to be some of the ASU Sun Devils, Matt Jones, Pat Perez, just talking about coming back to the desert and what that means for them. I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't real impressed with Pat Perez. He was a little dodgy. Didn't want to answer a lot of the questions. I feel like full-heartedly. Looked kind of annoyed to even be there, which was disappointing because Phil was very gracious, was very great in all his answers, which you would expect for somebody that's been the face of golf for 20 years outside of Tiger. But Matt Jones was terrific, and you're going to hear that interview as well. They're going to talk a little bit about ASU. Matt Jones has a really cool story about him actually being recruited to ASU all the way from Australia, which I highlighted on the Twitter. So yeah, stay tuned, listen to that. But the coolest, thing that happened on day one, we had one of our friends, James Rogers, come along with us, and he's a huge golf nut, so it was really cool having him there. And you know, the today was the practice rounds for the players. So honestly, they were just being put in foursomes. Got to play the course, kind of feel it out, see what is going to lie ahead of them for the next few days. They have the Pro-Am tomorrow, which I'll be there for that. I'll also record something for that and give you guys an update. So we'll have a lot of content. But getting back to the story, James and I decided we were going to walk the course while these guys were doing their practice round, really with no intention other than just hey, we want to see some good golf. It's not every day you get to see Masters winning golfers up close and personal. So we started out just walking the course, and the first group that we came up on was Bubba Watson, Taylor Gooch, um, Cameron Tringale, and a few others, and it was just really cool. We were watching them; they were killing it, as you would expect. And my buddy James had the bright idea of like, hey, Dugan, why don't we just go ahead try to tag along with these guys. And I was like, dude, James, like, I know we got media credentials, but let's not push the boundaries, pal. Like, I'm not trying to get kicked out on day one. And he said, hey, what's the worst they can tell us? Hey, get the hell away from us. We're trying to practice, whatever. And we would have respected it fully. We would have never argued. So we decided, hey, all right, let's kind of walk towards them. There was an old timer there that was part of their entourage, and James went up to him and was like, "Hey, do you mind if we just tag along?" The guy's like, "Hey, I'm not going to tell anybody. Go right ahead." So we were able to actually freaking walk 9 holes with Bubba Watson and the crew, and just kind of BS with them. Talk the NCAA tournament, talk to them about how their round was going, talk about this crazy resident, because obviously this golf course is one of those that has houses around it, that was yelling about the music being too loud, and them being like, dude, what the hell do you want us to do? We're just golfers." And it was just really cool. I was talking to Henny earlier. I was letting him know, man, like, hey, I'm kind of a novice in this. I've been following golf for a couple of years. I've always watched it. My dad's a big golf guy, but I've never been, entrenched in it like I have the last couple of years. And just seeing these guys be real, genuine humans that are just guys being dudes, talking about, sports gambling, talking about the tournament, everything but golf, and then just seeing them be just incredible at their craft was something I will never forget. And I got to tell you, I don't really have a golfer that I root for or that I follow. Bubba Watson might be that guy after today, as well as like Cameron Tengale. Like, these guys are just first class A1 humans. Never once did they look at us and go, "Hey, who are you? Why are you here?" They just immediately started, BSing with us, chatting with us, treating us like we were part of their entourage. And honestly, man, it was incredible. Um, we were lucky enough. No other journalists, no other media credentialed people were part of these groups. We just kind of went out on a whim, kind of like what this podcast is all about, right? We're not doing this to just report, crap. Like, we're just guys that love sports, and we put ourselves out on the line, and we got rewarded with just hanging out with some really really cool dudes for nine holes. So day one report. The live tour seems really cool so far. I hope that it has longevity. I hope it has some wheels to it, because just to be honest, as somebody just novice to the game, I couldn't have felt more welcome. As a journalist, I couldn't have felt more part of the action than I did today. And just those guys couldn't have been more humble. They couldn't have been more welcoming, and I will always remember that for them. So, stay tuned. I got a couple audio clips from Phil's presser. I got a couple audio clips from Pat Perez, and Matt Jones. So take a listen to those. They're also going to be up on YouTube, the actual video of those press conferences. And then stay tuned to the social medias, on Twitter, at Dugan Football. I'm constantly updating throughout the day what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, and then on the social medias, Jump Shots from the Goal Line Pod on Instagram, I am constantly uploading video of these guys just taking swings on the driving range, the action out there. So please stay tuned, and just remember, we do have the contest up until Friday night. If you guys are looking for tickets for Saturday or Sunday, follow us, send us a DM that you are subscribed to the pod, and you'll be entered into a raffle for a ticket of Saturday or Sunday, your choice. So again, thank you again so much for your support, guys. I wouldn't be able to go to an awesome event like this without you. And just stay tuned for some awesome content. Henny will be there Saturday and Sunday with me, for the main event, and then I'll be reporting on the pro am, and then day one of the actual tournament on Friday. So hopefully we hear from you guys on the socials. Let us know what you guys want to hear from these press conferences. If I'm able to sneak in a question, I definitely will. So hey, stay tuned. We love you guys, and we
professional event in 1991 as an amateur, and I have fond memories of coming back here. And so to participate here is and bring LIV Golf to Tucson is exciting for me and everybody else involved with LIV.
So the High Flyer has a new look and feel this year. You've got new team members. Talk a little bit about the kind of rebranding of your team, what it's like to have Brendan and James now.
I could not be happier with our team, and it's the chemistry and the way we have worked together. And I think that there's an aspect of team golf that we're starting to see a little bit here that helps each other elevate and get the best out of each other. The best example I could use is that in the last 2 weeks since Mexico, James and Cameron, who live in Florida, have been playing together, working and playing little short game competitions. And Steely and I have been working back in San Diego. And he's been helping me a little bit with the driver, and I've been helping him a little bit with short irons. And we are starting to help each other, help each other get the best out of each other. And that's an aspect that we haven't really seen in professional golf because it's such an individual sport that either you don't feel comfortable asking or you don't want to share. And with the team dynamic, I think we're going to help each other elevate our games. We had a big meeting last night, big dinner last night with everybody involved with the High Flyers because to be our best as a professional golfer, it takes a lot of support. You have to have a lot of support from a lot of different areas. You can't be your best without help from others, and so you have to humble yourself and ask for help. And we tried to have everybody associated with the High Flyers, from our fitness, our physical therapy, our coaching, our caddies, our families, support systems, wives, as well as the executives who are running the team and doing all the day-to-day stuff who were here. So we had everybody there so that we all develop a close relationship and help each other accomplish some common goals.
Last one for you. So you said you played first professional in 1991. I think that you did that 9 years before I was born.
Yeah, I was 11, so. Having somebody with that much energy, excitement, motivation, and work ethic has been a really good thing for our team. He brings a very youthful energy and his willingness to put in the work, as well as his curiosity to learn and get better, makes him a great addition. He's going to be an incredible player and accomplish a lot of things in this game, and he's going to be lifting up the High Flyers as we go.
Well, by my count, you're playing 7 total minutes.
I think going to college up the road and playing and practicing on the conditions here play a big part of that. I think that there's an elevation challenge of although it's 3,000 feet, it's not like going to Mile High in Denver, but there's still a challenge of learning how to hit certain shots, distance control with the irons. That when you spend years here, like I did in college, it's a lot easier to figure out. I think that's a big part of it. But also just being comfortable here and the way that people have supported me over the years helps me play my best too.
What's your best memory of night one, and do you still have it?
I do still have it. It's a very special tournament for me because it opened so many doors and created so many opportunities before I even turned professional, and allowed me to go back to college and have a vehicle right onto professional golf when I got out. It's one of my most fond accomplishments in the game. And as I look back, I think the thing that I recall, or I like to look back on, was that I actually made a triple bogey on the 14th hole of the final round and overcame that with birdies on 16 and 18 coming down the stretch. Because you're not going to play perfect golf all the time. Sometimes you have to overcome some obstacles, and having that be an obstacle to overcome my first win was a big obstacle. It was a big challenge, and I always look back on that as a reminder of never give up and keep fighting. Just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear this. So I have not read up on it. I haven't looked into it. I haven't really like looked at the data. So I don't really have an opinion on it right now. I just don't have enough knowledge to really on the subject to formulate an opinion. Uh, you asked that as a question. It should be more of a statement uh, about the fingerprints and so forth. I think that it's really a good thing. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it for the tour. I think that there will always be a need and a want for traditional golf, and there's always an opportunity to innovate and allow LIV to be additive and create something new and different for the game of golf. I also think that the changes bring the best players about more often, and I think that's what fans want and what the sponsors want. They want to know what they're buying, and those are all things that LIV have provided for their fans and for their sponsors and television and so forth. And so I think it's a good model to follow, and I'm glad that they are. Well, then I'm thankful that it didn't happen a year ago, because I'm really happy with the way LIV has brought about new change to the game, because this team aspect is something that we really never saw as a possibility in golf until LIV came along. It's brought about a new energy for me. It's brought about a new dynamic, and my teammates and myself are helping each other be our best, and that's been a lot of fun playing practice rounds with them, going to dinner, hanging out. Like, it's brought a lot more joy to professional golf experience, and I'm really appreciative that it's come about. So I'm glad that those changes didn't happen a year ago.
Most players on the PGA Tour talk about majors. Used to talk about that. So how is LIV going to be maybe an impediment because your focus is going to be on the team so much? Not be able
To play to bring the most value to your team, you've got to play your best, and so you still have to put in the work and shoot low scores. That's how you bring the value to your team as a player, and so that's not going to change. That'll be the same whether it's in team golf or individual golf. But the support system to help be your best is certainly a nice benefit. We're all grateful that we're able to participate in the Masters and all majors, because there was a lot of talk that might not happen. But here we are able to do that, and we're all grateful for that as well.
you also feel that LIV is, I mean, it's not even been a year yet from the first term last year. So how do you feel like the progress has gone, and what do you see are the things that you still need to be working on?
It has all happened so fast, and everything's got moved up a year because we had so much demand with so many top players coming over that we ended up moving the league and the team aspect up a year. And so there's a lot happening. There's a lot of transition. There's a lot of kind of figuring things out as we go. But to think that we are where we are today in less than a year, it's beyond amazing. Evolution. We'll just simply evolve, and when we see something that can be better, we have the fluidity to make the change and make it better. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of specifics that we can look at and say, gosh, do we need to go to 72 holes to get world golf ranking points, or do we need to, what do we need to do to be the best product? But really, it comes down to how can we provide the best product to fans, to sponsors, and also this is a question that Liv has been asking that I haven't been asked in the last 32 years. How can we make this the best experience for the professionals as well? And that's what's exciting for us as players to be a part of this league.
Do you think you will need to
I don't know. Like I say, those are all things that we can look at and talk about, and we have again the fluidity to make changes if it's in the best interests of the players or of the league or for the fans or for the sponsors. But I don't feel that that's a pressing need right now. Otherwise, it would have been changed. But again, the great thing about this league is its fluidity and its ability to adapt and make changes and do things that quickly to make things better.
Hey, Phil, Teddy Fenton, Northeast College. It's good to see you. My question is about your physical theme. You talked about working with the team on the physical aspect, the mental aspect, the whole 10 yards. Can you share for the guys that are 50 or getting close and over what your secret is? Because you look great.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, everything that I've tried to do in the last few years, but specifically in this off season and recently, I've tried to really put wellness at the forefront. I mean, I even have a company around it, and so all the products that I put into my body, I try to allow myself to recover and to get in better shape and to eat less, kind of curb my appetite. And we added a physical therapist to our team. I haven't really had a physical therapist. I've had a trainer for a number of years. Sean Cochran's been with me for 20 years, and he's helped elongate my career. It's been a huge thing for me to be at 52 years old now without battling any physical injuries and being able to play. And we added Gino Senko as our physical therapist, and this is a new additive to get my body functioning right and so forth and recover faster. And then my job and responsibility is to make sure that the things I put inside my body allow me to do that. And as I've gotten older, I've had to take a lot more accountability for that, much more so than I did in my 20s and 30s. And I wish I had looked back and had the knowledge and had the education to implement those changes back then, because I don't like looking back and saying, what if I had done that? But here I am today, and taking a lot more accountability and allowing myself to play and compete at a much higher level than a lot of people could at this age.
Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
TV contract with CW. I got a TV contract. Ratings felt fantastic to begin with. What's your expectation with that?
Again, it's one of those things that we're all grateful for, because we were told, oh, well, we're not going to have a TV deal. Well, we've got a TV deal with 120 million homes, and that's just in the U.S. I mean, internationally, we have a lot more exposure as well, and those relationships are really strong. And it will take some doing on our part, on CW's part, to get the word out that LIV Golf is on CW, but that will slowly evolve.
Do you have any influence on bringing LIV to Arizona?
I would like to say that I had a direct impact on it. It really wasn't. I mean, we tried to nail down some markets that have always wanted and supported professional golf. Tucson supported professional golf, and then it got taken away a few decades ago. And granted, I participated in a Champions event. We were here. Champions Tour was here a couple of weeks ago. I played a couple of years ago here. But world-class golf, like the best players in the world, like the Dustin Johnsons, the Cam Smiths, and Brysons, and Brooks, and so forth. To bring that back to Tucson, I'm really proud to be a part of that, even though it wasn't me that was saying, we've got to do this. It was looking at it in general and saying, this is really a good spot for us to be. It'd be great for the tour, for the league. It'd be great for the area as well.
You mentioned the fans and the relationship. People in this state would not know what that would be like previously.
It's fun for me to see a lot of familiar faces that I haven't seen in a little while. It's fun for me to get back here and it's fun to feel the support. I mean, it's hard. It's a hard golf course to walk, so and you got to be a little careful walking in the desert with some of the wildlife going on. But it's nice to feel support here.
Hey, Phil. So talking about set doubles and everything, there's a lot of different set doubles you're playing at the tournament this week. So talking about the individual
I actually played with him about a month ago in San Diego. We went out to the Grand, played around, and he made 11 birdies in that round, and it was very impressive. He's a very talented golfer, and he's on a great team for him as well, because that Spanish speaking fiery connection, like, it's really a good thing for him. He's got Joaquin Neiman on his team, and he's really a good guy, and very young as well, talented, and I think he's going to help him get the best out. But Dave's got a lot of talent. I've seen it firsthand.
Bill, when the Masters come up, what are your expectations of LIV golfers? What are the best?
No expectations, really. We're just grateful we're able to play, compete, be a part of it, and a lot of the people there that are playing, competing in the Masters are friends for decades, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
What's the significance of getting Bryce and Cam Smith and those guys to
Well, it's massive. It's another thing that I think everybody's grateful for, because again, we were told, well, LIV won't ever get the top players, and gosh, we have so many top players in the world that it's a quality product, and it's something that we're all grateful for. Just another thing we're all grateful
Match play is going to be gone after next week. Could you see a scenario where you can fill the void here?
It's a perfect format and opportunity to fill the match play void, because the negative of the match play is that the most exciting days are earlier in the week, and then the fans and sponsors only have 1 or 2 matches to follow on the weekend, and the team aspect could make the match play much more exciting, because you would always have 3 matches in the finals, even if there were only 2 teams playing. You could have 6 matches if you had the 3rd and 4th team playing for 3rd place. And even if you have a blowout match, you still would have to win 2 out of 3 matches, and those other 2 matches would be coming down to the wire and create a lot of excitement. So there's an opportunity with team dynamic that LIV Golf could have a match play scenario. It's certainly something that we're discussing. As a possibility for the season-ending event, but we also want to make sure that we have enough golfers on the golf course, which has been the knock on that.
So, Phil, why do you think LIV came to Tucson instead of Phoenix?
I think it's a great opportunity. It's an opportunity to be in a market that is a golf market, supportive of professional golf, and hasn't had the highest level golf in the world in a while, and bring that back to a community that deserves it. So that's a big part of it, plus the quality of golf courses, the quality of the experience.
More stories?
No.
Okay.
No,
It's too long ago.
No, I think it'll be just good, humorous being around the golf course, making fun of each other probably when we hit a bad shot, if we do.
And Matt, how did the Austin come to get to the desert? What was the connection?
It's a weird story. I was playing in an amateur event in Australia, and there was a coach from the University of Tennessee over there, and he saw me play, so he asked me to go there on a recruiting trip, and then when I was coming over for the recruiting trip, there was a friend of mine that was in a community college in Arizona, I think it's Tucson Community College, and he said, would you come to ASU to have a look at that as well? And that's how it all started. And then there used to be a Titleist rep that used to work for Titleist called Jim Ahern, and he saw me when I was playing in Australia, and he was looking after me with equipment and stuff back then. So he was good friends with Randy, who was the coach at ASU, and that's how it really all started.
About a month ago, and we made 11 birdies.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
What was that like?
It was good. We
So my caddy is actually a member at the Grand in San Diego, and one of his friends is friends with Phil. So we got a group of four, and yeah, we had a great round, and I mean I was the lowest one with 11 birdies, yeah, so it was pretty cool.
It's the last time you had a round with 11 birds.
Probably that was the last round. Yeah, I don't know if the only one, but the one for sure I remember it was that one.
Uh, and Pat, Pat, so you come off your best finish in the off of October. You're still starting to stay in your game. And you feel like you've gotten to this point where you're really comfortable.
No, I've been talking about it since I got here, but I wasn't playing that great for about a year and a half before. Shots on one of those weeks that really comfortable course and shots makes it much you can play well. Not many people have been to the course. That's the first time we've seen it, so Charles and I played with the most of anybody since '07, so we have pretty good knowledge around there. Obviously, he played phenomenal. But yeah, I'm really trying to work hard on my game and fly back on a lot of work in the off season. Trying to have a good year.
This is for Pat, because of the extended off season. You've had a lot more opportunity to work out with, focus on your fitness. And that
I just been riding Peloton. I tried everything. I tried weights. I tried, all this other stuff. I just like kind of ride the bike to watch TV. Somebody yelling at me on the screen here, so it's right at home. I don't have to go. I don't have to go to the gym. I don't see anybody and listening there, so it's actually just perfect. And, my daughter plays in our theater for an hour, and it's kind of fun. We have this thing now where we go upstairs and she destroys the room when I ride the bike. I get done. That's about it. So yeah. So that was one of my things I want to lose weight. I want to get kind of. It was nice. The extended period was nice. Losses like that since '06. So it was nice. Probably 20. I just feel better. I feel stronger. I feel better. It's hard to lose weight at 47. I feel a lot better than I did. So
did you utilize the off season for any?
I did. I got to go back to Australia, so I played back there, and then I came back to America at the end of December. So I had January off, but the Rippers and Cam, he has his trainer over here, and he works with all of us now too. So we have a program, and I mean it's one aspect that I've probably worked more at in the last month, 2 months than I would have normally, just because we've had time to do it. The last thing to do after 3 weeks on the road is a lot of the time is getting the gym and wear yourself down again. So that 3 weeks off, then that time be in the gym working out, working on the bike. It's beneficial, and I do feel physically and mentally stronger.
And one last question for me, for all three of you. What's the secret? You guys have a lot of stuff.
I don't want to tell the people that don't know.
That's one thing.
In my case, it's to avoid the desert.
That's everyone's case.
It's different because you don't really have targets out there. So you gotta get to really know the course. It's hard in a couple of days here, but picking a spot somewhere, it's different because the targets are more in the fairways and not really out. A tree line course, you pick a tree or something like that. You might be able to find a bush, or if you're going into the mountain, you can pick the side of the mountain and shoot at. But desert golf is tricky because it's a lot of blind shots, especially on tees. Especially at Scottsdale, a lot of the courses are kind of blind shots. You got to really kind of trust it. That's the spot, and the greens are pretty firm and fast. So obviously chipping around here can get kind of tricky because where the runoffs are. So it's really desert golf just got to be spots.
Yeah, no, I mean, disc golf design is they try and trick you into thinking no, not much fairway there, but there is fairway there, but it's like not much because all you can see is the desert around it. But there's more room there than you think, but if you get a bad shot, it's pretty much up there.
It's from ASU here.
Ah.
You guys, so, they- how does it feel like playing with how
It's been great. I mean, we're young guys, and we all speak the same language, which is good. And yeah, I mean, Bubba was our first event, obviously together. And they're very nice and very friendly. So we're having a great time, especially in practice rounds and dinners. So yeah.
Hey guys, Steady Fat Luckiest Golfers on Earth. ASU is known as the golf powerhouse. Obviously, you have 3 touring professionals and a bunch of other people that play for ASU, but it's also got a little bit of a reputation for being a party school. And
There's a reason for that.
yeah, I want to know. I'm sure all 3 of you have amazing stories to tell about your time at ASU, but my question is, do you think that flavor, that festivious nature, is going to work its way into Tucson for this event and marry perfectly with what LIV Golf is? A very festive, new thing for the professional golf scene. What do you think?
I hope they do. I hope they come down. I hope we get some Scottsdale, Tempe people to come down and fun. I don't know if
And then just a follow up for you guys. You're going to be watching the games. Big game for you guys.
That's why I'm not going to party until 7:30. 6:10.